Donald Trump showing strength in the key battleground states.
The polls are so good. We're winning all over the place. They're going crazy.
So what does he need to do in this final stretch? Here to weigh in, author of Crossing the Thinnest Line, Lauren Chevet, and editor of Red Alert Politics, Ron Meyer. Good morning to both of you. Thanks for waking up so early on a Sunday morning. Just 2 days to go. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. All right, Lauren, I'll start with you. So you look at where we are right now and the states that are in play. I mean, we can pull up the electoral map, but you compare it to 2 weeks ago and now how you look at New Hampshire, Colorado, even Pennsylvania is up in the air right now.
You know, I think it's actually less up in the air than maybe we think it is. You know, I was in Pennsylvania yesterday, and the ground game that the Clintons have, and the DNC has set up all over the swing states, is unprecedented. They have 2 to 3 times as many field offices and huge numbers of volunteers spread out all across the swing states. And so I think what the polls don't really tell you is this big question about getting out the vote. And the Democrats have just an enormous advantage when it comes to mobilization. We've also seen massive turnout operations around the Latino vote. We have a huge energy from women voters who are volunteering in huge numbers across the swing states. And so while the polls are tightening, I'm not sure that it's going to translate on Election Day.
Ron, you can always tell, though, where the candidates feel most concerned based on where they are spending their resources, where they're spending their time, most importantly. And we're seeing Hillary Clinton, though, visiting some of the states which she hoped to have locked up by now.
That's right, yeah. You'll see that she's coming to Virginia, which she should have easily had locked up. She's traveling to states that really she should have locked up weeks ago, but because of what's happened with this FBI letter, things have totally changed. And that's why I think that there's a few steps that Donald Trump can take to actually tighten this thing up and close it. I think step 1 might be coming out against daylight savings, but we can talk about that one a different time. But step 2 needs to be, I think he has to go back to what worked during the convention. That's trot out surrogates who are really powerful on his behalf. Because right now, Hillary's attacking his character on air. And so he has to fight back by not just having himself out there, but having people who really believe in him out there. I think another step is making sure you don't make a mistake. I think whoever makes the last mistake is going to lose this race. Because what we've seen is that these news cycles do change the polls. That's what we've seen with the FBI letter, with the tape. And so whoever controls the media cycle in these last days is going to win this thing.
Well, and guess what? It all ends on Tuesday or so, people are saying. But what about this nightmare scenario, Lauren, where it could be a 269-269 tie? You know, in every election, there's always that possibility that you would have that. It is just sort of the fundamentals of the Electoral College. I do not think this is going to be a close election or anywhere near the 269 to 269. The reality is that even any candidate already started with an electoral advantage in this race because of the way the map the way the map is. When you factor in the difference in terms of the female vote, the minority vote, this is not going to be a close election. So I know we can always sort of do the punditry on the eventualities. I do not think that is going to happen. It's such a long shot that we'd be anywhere near that. What would happen, though, if that were the case, Ron? Ultimately, then who decides who's president?
Well, then it goes to the House of Representatives. So whoever wins electoral votes in a tie would be sent to the House, and they have to pick between one of the 2 candidates. So they can't just pick anyone. So they'd either have to pick Hillary or Trump. And as you know, the House is controlled by Republicans. And probably still will be. And so each state gets 1 vote, so the delegations get together and vote. And so Republicans hold the majority in 33 states. And so it should be an easy win for Trump. You wouldn't think that Republicans would abandon Trump for Hillary in a direct, I mean, it would probably be political suicide for them. And I actually do think it's somewhat of a possibility. Basically, if Trump wins New Hampshire and the states that are polling the way they are poll the way they are, this could be a real thing. And I wouldn't really put so much investment into saying that minorities and millennials and women are going to turn out for Democrats. We've seen in polling this entire year and these last few weeks that those turnouts have been depressed, especially compared to where they are for Obama, especially with millennials.
Yeah,
after this letter, her support has fallen off.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. She had Katy Perry during the primary. How did that work for her? Bernie blew her out of the water, even though she had all these same people out campaigning for her.
The mobilization on the Democratic side is so powerful.
Well,
enormous.
That's the question.
There's no way that that Trump can overcome it. He's had no support from his own party in the ground game. People can't even find their polling places.
If the Bernie Sanders people come out for her, that'll be the big question. Lauren and Ron Meyer, good to see you this morning. We will see how all of this plays out by Tuesday. All right.